Live to the Gym and the Crypto episode 1184. Today is Wednesday, January 24th, 2024, and I'm King.
And I'm Bitcoin Zay, here to bridge the gap between cryptocurrency and the community, Monday through Friday at 10ish.
At 10ish in today's top stories. Trump will never allow CBDC, gives full credit to Vivek Ramaswamy. Real quick, it would be funny if he actually were to win the election and crypto become a thing all because he says, and I'm like, yeah, he's not gonna give us CBDCs. Go Trump. It's like, wait, what? Y'all talking about CBDCs now? 3.1 trillion in illicit funds flowed through the global financial system in 2023, says NASDAQ. X adds community note to Senator Warren's claims on dodging sanctions with crypto. Nexo seeks $3 billion in damages from Bulgaria over dropped investigation. And Canada's use of law freezing protesters' crypto donations was unconstitutional, says judge. But first and foremost, what's going on with those prices?
Oh, yeah. So let's take a look at our prices for today. Bitcoin sitting at $39,909, up 2.4% today after a big drop. Ethereum at $2,227, up 0.8% today. Binance Coin at $292, down 1% on the day. Solana coming in at $85.65 is up 4.8% today. XRP at 51 cents, up 1.8%. Cardano coming in at the number 87 cent is up 2.2%. Avalanche having a good day at 30.71 is up 8.6%. And last but not least, rounding out the top 10 is Dogecoin at 7 cents, up 2.3%. And some of our trending coins today, Manta Network, just switched up on me, but Manta Network up 29.7%, Bitcoin up 3%, and Meme AI, which I'm not surprised by, just combined two. You got the meme culture, you got AI culture, just combine it. Why not? Who cares, man? It's 2 million cryptos in the
Smart
world.
coin on there recently added. Smart one.
Yeah, recently added. It's smart to throw it up there, get you a little quick pump and dump. Biden 2024, worth a penny with a hole in it.
Hilarious.
Silly Duck and Ape Bond. And honestly, I think seeing coins like this, we've seen it, for a while now, but seeing them pumping out at this level is hilarious simply because most of these new coins that are coming out, they're basically copy and pasting, and they're just trying to figure out which meme coins to pump and dump. Because again, we went from thinking there were 20,000 cryptos to really there's 2 million. So that means that there's a lot of copy and pasting going on. No, people are not sitting down coming up with complete roadmaps and, and building out utility. It's all pump and dumps, people, and the recently added, but it's all good.
And really quick, I want to tag on to that too. Fear and greed index went down 3. It's at 50 neutral. So that shakeout scared some people for sure. I have some bad news, Zay. I think people, what you saw, then, all right, really quick. ETFs launch, always up until the ETF launch. My whole thing was we're gonna have to wait to see after they launch if the price is built in or not. Blah blah blah. After actually launched, we talked about that to say, what was it? We came on that Friday. We said, we'll see what happens on Monday with the price, and then throughout the week leading up to the following Friday, which is what we all just kind of saw, whatever. And now this is the after effect. It looks like the price was already priced in. Mm-hmm. The halvening is 2 months away. People, buckle the fuck up. I'm telling you now. Yesterday, like to this morning and yesterday, that was the 15 to 20% discount for altcoins and some of 8%, 9%, whatever for Bitcoin for a lot of people. That was the floor as far as, it hit my price alert. I just bought back in. That was that. We're about to slide, folks. I'm telling you. We're about to start sliding. I'm thinking easy, it's not even that far away, so I'll call it easy one. Easy 35 is coming. Incoming 35. That's easy right now. Not saying it's going to happen forever. I'm not saying how low it's going to go, but the slipping and sliding is about to happen. It's too long before the happening. There's no more news unless you're going to do another 100 Bitcoin buy or whatever the number was today we just saw as far as the ETFs, 100,000 or 100, whatever. Unless that's about to happen here in the next week or so, people, the buy, those were the buys. That was the buys to keep it where it needs to be kept. There's not going to be a second wave of that. So if and when we dip again like we just saw, which what is today? Wednesday? About Saturday. So Saturday when we dip again, this time we're dipping, people. I don't think we're going to come back as quickly. But let's give some quick shout outs to everybody in the chat. Of course, I know he's probably in here, but shout out to Jake Fever. I'm wearing Jake's Fever's shirt he just sent me the other day. It said, I don't know why, like, you know, what my face looked like when I saw the shirt, Jake. It was kind of like your comment sometimes. I was just like, why would he do this? But all right, you know, I'm gonna support. He has a shirt that says free SBF, and then of course Sam Bankman Free, and then at the bottom it says no keys, no cheese. So I'm going to guess what the shirt actually means. So shout out to Jake Fever. Get these shirts from him. I'm assuming he's saying that SBF didn't do anything wrong, because I think I took that approach one day. SBF didn't do anything wrong. Everybody gave him this crypto and he kept it. So I'm assuming that's what the shirt means. He needs to be free because technically he didn't do anything wrong. Like Mr. Wonderful said, he is a genius to get away with this. And yes, no keys, no cheese. So shout out to Jake Fever. I can walk around with a nappy-headed hoe on my shirt now. People think I'm not quick because they don't know how to tone it down for the telly. I tone it down for the tellies. They know who I am. All right, BK Crypto, boom, what's going on? And speaking of which, shout out to BK Crypto, great shirts as well. Zay, BK Crypto. I'm saying it live, BK, so you can see it now. BK Crypto keeps telling me to tell you to check out his store, pick out some shirts and stuff. He got some awesome gear, some hoodies that you like, and he'll send them over to you as well, Zay. So check out BK Crypto thing. Yeah. I'll see you in a link if you after. Timothy Grisby is going on. Memories of Mike, Janine, Wisdom Bars, KW1, Chloe Dior, the Digital Wealth Podcast. Trump going to stop CBDCs like he stopped the vaccines. Hilarious. Hey, it's funny. I like how you spelled it, because you even made me have to pronounce it out loud. I didn't know what that actually meant or said until I said it out loud and I heard it. He spelled it VAK scenes. That was pretty funny. T Will, what's going on? Marcellus Love, Satoshi Slim. Let's see. You can use Chat GPT to make all the roadmaps and for even better scams. That's true.
Man, could you imagine AI during the ICO era? Oh man. Chat GPT in 2017 would have went crazy, boy.
Man. What's going on with the painter? Morning. What's the most trustworthy location for the bulk of your Bitcoin? And answer more detailed than cold storage. I mean, specific iCoin wallet has worked, and I still have some of my old Trezor wallets. So open dimes, people, you got to remember, we still we literally have all our videos up. Zay has been in detail about different cold storage applications on this channel. Those videos are still there. Literally just look up I think cold wallets or something like that in the description. But yes, open dimes, right? Open dime still works. Don't forget you can do a QR code and just do a paper wallet. So those are 4 different detailed answers for you that all still work today. Yes, the Contrarian, of course. Shout out to everybody who called out the Contrarian. Shout out to Jake Fever. He called out Kramer the other day. Jim Kramer, of course, said the price was about to dip. And of course, it did the exact opposite. But now that it did the opposite, I think it's actually about to actually dip this time. So we'll see. Trezor has been hacked a few times. Who do you trust? Has Trezor been hacked? I didn't know Trezor got hacked.
Yeah, it got hit a couple times. But yeah, I was gonna say my biggest one I would say is open dimes.
2015, 2016?
Nah, this was sort of recent. Yeah, with Trezor. Yeah, and then also some people having trouble with updates. I would say Cold Card is a good one to go with. Cold Card is pretty good. But if you want to get deep in the weeds and you want to talk about storing it, get you a computer, air gapped, never connected to the internet. Download your wallet on there, and then basically run a private node, which running a node, you can do it, publicly, privately, whatever. So yeah, if you want to get deep in the weeds, yeah, that's how you can do it. Run a private node, have an air gap computer, store your keys in a fireproof and waterproof safe in a bunker underground, with a a fingerprint or facial recognition in order to get into it. If you really want to get deep in the weeds.
I was gonna say one of the things also when it comes to that, not the same as having a completely separate node or whatever, but again, switching over that that login when you log into your computer, switching over that side to admin, guest, your personal login, switching it to a whole different login wherever you do anything crypto wise, and staying off the internet on that login will also help you stay secure as well. So if you don't have enough money to get a whole nother computer, literally just switch it up to a different user. Yeah, different users. I don't know the words anymore. Switch it up to a different user, and that will work as well. All right, let's get it going. Top story of the day: Trump will never allow CBDC. Gives full credit to Vivek Ramaswamy. What's going on with this story, Bitcoin Zay?
Oh yeah. So we discussed DeSantis saying that he doesn't want a CBDC in Florida. That may have rubbed off to Vivek Ramaswamy, which then rubbed off to Trump. The presidential candidate acknowledges the importance of the issue and credits Vivek for bringing it to his attention. The former president of the United States and current presidential candidate Trump has once again mentioned the topic of central bank digital currencies, giving full credit to Vivek Ramaswamy, the former presidential candidate for the Republican Party. During a rally in New Hampshire, he told the audience that Ramaswamy was the only presidential candidate with a crypto framework in his program. Asked him to raise once again the question of tackling a potential CBDC in the United States. After a brief confession that he didn't like Ramaswamy until he defeated him, Trump repeated his recent claim that he would never allow a CBDC. And of course, you know, there's a lot of nuance when you talk about politicians because you can like some of the things, you can like some of the other things that they do. But when we're talking about the foundation of where most of the problems coming from, which is why we're all here changing the money with Bitcoin, not allowing a CBDC or not wanting a CBDC is a good start. Again, they're politicians, so I don't believe it till it happens. However, if he's starting off saying we don't want a central bank digital currency, unless he gets that tap on the shoulder and it's too heavy of a tap where he can't ignore it, I think this is good overall. This is a net win at this point. But overall, I think CBDC is being pushed, just having to push back from Texas senators and Florida and Trump and Vivek. Everybody that's pushing back against the CBDC, I think is great to see, only because for some people, this is their first time hearing this. They've never heard the term CBDC. They don't even know central bank digital currencies are coming down the pike. And some people are sitting there like, hold up. So you mean to tell me everything's going digital? I didn't realize this is where we're headed. Yes. And you have a choice. You can either go CBDC route or you can come on to the Bitcoin side. You have a choice, but I think Trump is doing a good job of putting it out there because some people never even heard of it. You know how many people, when he first tweeted about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, were like, we didn't realize that presidents and people running for president knew what this was. Like, they didn't think they had any idea. This is back in 2019. So if Elizabeth Warren is his opponent, if Pocahontas is going to be his opponent, then this is perfect because her hating crypto versus him not wanting the CBDC, something's going to come to a head. Somebody got to come.
You don't know who coming out in the seventh inning?
Nah.
Oh man, you ain't heard about dirty Gavin?
Oh, nah.
Governor Gavin?
Oh, yeah. Good old.
You ain't hear about that Chinese visit? They said, hey, they said, how why did you all why did you all clean up for the Chinese president or whatever you want to call him? And Gavin Newsom was up there in California. Hey, he was up here like, well, don't you clean up when you have guests? And it's like, no, not only do I not only clean up when I have guests, I clean up every day, bro. Like, clean up San Francisco and Sacramento, okay? Listen, Gavin Newsom's going to be in the running for the president. He's trying. We'll see if he actually gets it. But no, I'm with you on a serious note. It's unfortunate what I'm about to say, but it is true. Oftentimes, especially when it's coming from someone that people already like or want to believe to be true or listen to, i.e., the blind followers of Democrats and Biden and the blind followers of Republicans and Trump as it is right now, respectively. Trump coming out and say we'll never allow CBDCs. I mean, you already know the whole Bible bill. We will never allow CBDCs. What are CBDCs, Joe? Bubba Joe? Oh, hell, I don't know what they are. I just know we're not going to be having them here. This is like, there we go. That's all it takes.
That's all it takes. Yeah.
One person you like to say it, and you just, I don't know what it is. I don't know nothing about it, but we're not going to stand for it. And I'm with it. Like, that's pretty cool to see. But again, the line has been drawn. I think it's all BS talk, like you said, until the tap on the shoulder comes, because they're saying, I mean, this article literally states, so I want to look at something. It says, highlighted already. I would never allow the creation of a central bank digital currency, adding that such a currency would give the federal government absolute control over citizens' money. We're already there. We're already there. Like, again, there's a reason why they keep trying to call it digital currency, people, and they're getting away from Bitcoin and crypto and all. Here's what you got to understand. First of all, we already have digital currency, virtual currency, literally on your banking online or on your cash apps. All that stuff is digital currency, people. All right. So they're trying to conflate the words or conflate different ideals and thoughts when you're talking about crypto and Bitcoin specific. And then you're talking about regular fiat currency on the virtual side of the house, which is all digital currency is what we're seeing right now. So this to me already exists. Already, if they really wanted to say, and they being the Federal Reserve working in conjunction with the federal government, saying you're not allowed to have money, you're not allowed to have money. We're going to cover it today. We saw it in Canada already. They froze bank accounts. We've seen this happen multiple times in the United States. In fact, be a criminal, or not even be an actual criminal, be accused of a serious enough crime, and they will freeze your freaking bank accounts instantly. So to me, this is already happening. So like you said, to me, it's just a tap on the shoulder that's separating it from being a new rebranded version of the dollar, because that's all a central bank digital currency will be. It will be a rebrand of the dollar. But as it stands, you already have digital currency. All that money in your Chase bank account, your Bank of America, your Wells Fargo credit unions, debit cards, credit cards, Cash Apps, Robinhoods, that is all digital currency. They already have absolute control of this. But I do understand where they come from. There, he's saying, hey, if you actually were to put it on the blockchain, so on and so forth, we get it. But the fix is already in. So I'm kind of with you on that. It's like, well, that's already happening. So if you're actually saying that twice over and it's already here, are we just waiting for the tap on the shoulder? So we'll see what happens. I hope not, though. I definitely hope not. KW1, do you think Tornado Cash has a chance at winning their case? So this is the thing. Normally, I would say yes. And even seeing some of the precedent that's already being set in court cases, we're going to be talking about Canada today. They say how that was unconstitutional. XRP took the SEC to task, and now it looks like Coinbase is starting to slap them around as well. So looking at how these cases are going and how it should be based off of what is right and wrong, then I think Tornado Cash should have a strong chance at winning their case because it's software and that's protected by First Amendment freedom of speech. The only reason I would say it could kind of get in is because it could be one of those things where the fix is already in. Like, who won the fight? Did the guy who knocked the other guy on his ass twice win? No, the judges voted against him for whatever reason. Why, we'll never know. But that's, to me, the same type of deal. If those judges get with the federal government and they're getting that pressure, they're like, no, you don't understand. If you okay this, national security technically will go down the drain. Why? Because we ain't gonna know where no money coming from on the crypto scene no more. This will proliferate and it will get to the point where every crypto transaction will automatically go through a mixer, as it kind of should anyway. It'll become almost impossible to trace or to figure, do the forensics on. So if that bug gets in the judge's ear, I can see them being like, nah, Tornado Cash, we can't let that one go through. That's the only way I see it happening. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I don't see them winning. Simply because Tornado Cash gives too much freedom. Same thing with any type of level of privacy for money. Regulators hate that. They'll do anything to keep the controlled KYC, AML regulations in place. I don't think Tornado will win. However, what they do whenever they bring up these cases is free promotion to that young developer who basically is saying, hold up, this exists. There's a way to actually to have privacy transactions using Ethereum, privacy with whatever, Monero, privacy on Bitcoin, privacy. Whoa, well, maybe I can figure out a way to do this as well. And basically it becomes a game of whack-a-mole at that point, because then they're going to have a Tornado Cash type court case every year. Like, they're going to basically, at some point, they're going to be, all right, man, we basically got to prosecute somebody new every year because there's new ones coming out all the time. So I don't think they'll win, but first one through the door gets shot. That's just how it is. If you're innovative, just go ahead and be ready because they're coming for you, player.
You can't stop the rain. When I'm saying that to the government, listen, I am going to take, just for devil's advocate, and because I kind of believe it, I'm taking the stance against Lord Smith. He said unless he gets a good judge, he doubts it. I'm taking the stance against Robert Vermeuth, and I am taking the stance against Bitcoin Zay, and I say Tornado Cash will be victorious. Okay, let's make it happen, people.
Oh, so you trying to put that on a parlay? You trying to?
Hey, all right. Here's my parlay. Here's my parlay right now. Tornado Cash is going to come out innocent. They're going to win. Canada is going to get in trouble for the unconstitutional stuff they did. XRP is going to sue the SEC and win. Coinbase is going to actually countersue the SEC and win. And last but not least, Binance is going to say, we're not going to pay you the money. We're taking you to court. That's the 5 parlay for crypto. Let's get it. I'm out of here.
Hey, it's good.
100,000 billion Satoshis.
It's good to have dreams, man. It's good to have dreams. We live in the real world. There ain't none of that shit happening. Just a little parlay.
Shout out to Black Roo. Shout out to Black Roo. Make sure you're checking out Ruel Black. He's giving you all that good altcoin gouge right there. All right, let's keep it rolling. Oh, really quick. I want to see this real quick before we keep it rolling. I just want to see if we can hear what President Trump had to say.
And this I do for Vivek because he's very big into it. I happen to agree with him, but he.
Oh, you're talking too much now.
I will never. She said, "I love Vivek." I love him too now. I didn't love him when he was running, but I like him now. It's amazing the way you can like somebody when you win, right?
Bro, for the people who are super liberal or Democratic, like y'all got like, come on, put your little feelings to the side, stop crying and shit, and laugh. You can't say Buddy is not charismatic and funny as hell.
Funniest president of all time. Funniest president of all time.
He's way funnier than Papa. All right, he's way funnier than Papa. Like straight up, he's a funny dude, man.
But Vivek is great. He's really great. But he wanted this, and I'll give him full credit for it. It's very important, actually. I will never allow the creation of a central bank digital currency.
And see, folks, like, and this is where it's messed up. Okay, all right, really quick. I'm not gonna get super political. This is where it's messed up, folks. I personally listen. They all are the same to me. Biden and Trump are the exact same human. One just says what he's thinking, and the other just already figure out not to say anything what he's thinking. But as far as if you think one is racist, you better believe both are racist. Don't think Trump racist. And to me, Trump is way less racist than the other guy. But regardless, let's say they both are, whatever. I don't care what you say about me. You haven't been picked on before. What I do care about is what you do with my money. And what you do with my money. Trump is doing everything to be like, look, small businesses, we don't care. CBDC is not going to happen. Bitcoin and crypto, not worried about it. Taxes, I got my own problems. All right. All I'm saying, people, is this is why people like him. You all need to seek to understand, not to be understood.
Hey man, everybody got a uncle that can't talk, and they got an uncle that's really good at talking. You just choose which one you want, because
exactly they both.
Biden got pudding brain; he can barely talk anymore. It's like, all right, grandpa, all right, cool. And then Trump is still talking shit in his old age, and it's funny, because,
right?
Yeah, he's been talking shit for 70 years. He ain't never gonna stop. He is a real estate guy from New York. If you ever met a New York real estate person, you would basically get why he talks how he does. But easily the funniest president of all time.
That dude funny as hell.
I mean, as somebody who used to do stand-up comedy, the man's timing is A1.
Right, and he knows it too. That's he kind of sits when he does it. I'm like, bro, like this dude's funny as I don't know what. Man, listen, y'all over here worried about a comedian. He just like to talk shit, okay?
Country's going to shit anyway. We might as well have somebody entertaining on the way down.
Hey, for real. $3.1 trillion in illicit funds flowed through the global financial system in 2023, says NASDAQ. Tell us something we don't know. No mention of Bitcoin, crypto, or stable. NASDAQ report on financial crimes became the key takeaway for numerous crypto entrepreneurs and investors on X. That's right. Stock exchange company NASDAQ releases its global financial crime report, highlighting data related to financial crime over the past year. This is 1 year too, people. And this is what they know of. I mean, we're not even talking about the people who got away. This is what they know of in 1 year. Just want to point that out. Over the past year, Bitcoin and crypto were not mentioned, bolstering the belief for many that cash, fiat currency is king when it comes to facilitating crimes. Anybody with literally half a brain already knows this. I mean, people, now I know people even use Bitcoin and crypto as a whole for it to be the king of facilitating crimes. Like, let me make this clear. If all of Bitcoin and crypto, if the entire market was used for illicit transactions, it still would not be more than the fiat market. I don't think people understand.
Not even close. Yeah.
Like, it's not even like the entire crypto market, okay, is still not going to amount to 2 or 3 years of the traditional sector. So let's knock it off, folks. Let's knock it off. But getting back to this again, check this out with NASDAQ has shared it. The report highlighted that financial crime continues to be a multi-trillion-dollar problem. NASDAQ estimated that in 2023, around $3.1 trillion in illicit funds flowed through the global financial system. Through money laundering, the funds fuel crimes like human and drug trafficking and terrorist financing. I mean, look at these numbers here. Wow. NASDAQ found that, let's see, almost $782.9 billion was involved in drug trafficking. Human trafficking. Okay, so they got the numbers for where they coming from. Here we go. This is what I wanted to see. Within the report, NASDAQ chair and CEO Adena Friedman said that financial institutions have been at the forefront of this issue for decades. Wow. You guys have been laundering money for decades, and y'all want to talk about crypto. The CEO wrote that institutions continue to engage in the fight to prevent fraud. Sounds like you're fucking losing. Friedman said financial institutions are responding to the pressure to prevent fraud, but cannot do it alone. Friedman explained, ultimately, we know that no single company, industry, technology, or government is going to solve the complex problem of financial crime alone. We all have a responsibility to ourselves and to the world to be a part of the solution. If that's the case, then why are y'all pressing crypto so bad? Yeah, I don't know. To me, this is interesting. Like, again, it's telling us something that we already know. The sky is blue. But I don't know. It's crazy that you actually see this type of information. And then, like, tomorrow you're going to see, yeah, regardless of that, we still need to press forward on Bitcoin and crypto for the illicit transactions there. I don't know. Any thoughts on this article?
Yeah, it's basically like you said, water's wet, sky's blue. We all know this is happening. In fact, I think this number is low because you can't even really quantify how much illicit funds are being moved unless you find out that they are moving illicit funds, which with some cases they're never going to find out. We're never going to know how much gold is in the Vatican under the Vatican, and we're never going to know how much money is in Swiss bank accounts. You're never really going to know how much real estate is owned by a lot of these richer people and farms and land in general. And people own whole islands and countries that they don't actually have to verify. You know, it's just a lot in there. So 3.1 trillion is actually pretty light, I think. And of course, if we factor in the money that was used to get people in place to pass laws so that they can have these illicit transactions, I mean, we'd be in a $100 trillion area. So yeah, it's just water is wet, and we've already seen the stats. 0.6% of all illicit activity comes from the crypto market. 0.6 people. We're talking about 99.4% of all the other illicit transactions come from banks and fiat and from the traditional system. Crypto's not even close. So this is just your reminder that if anybody tries to say that it's a scam, that it's illicit, that you're money laundering for human trafficking, you're going to see some news like that. I'm already starting to see some of the news articles. We've been talking about this since 2017, 2018. They're going to try and say Hamas or ISIS or some sort of terrorist.
Yeah, that terrorist. When we said that was going to be the one.
They already tried it. They tried it. Actually, Senator Cynthia Loomis in Wyoming, she called out somebody. I forget who it was, but they said basically 900,000, I believe, or 900 million has been used for illicit transactions in crypto versus like 900 billion in other transactions. It's like, bro, what comparison are we making, man? You worried about, you know, the guy who stole a penny out your chain out your little change drawer in your car, and your whole bank account is being taken. Like, calm down, bro. Like this is not what you all think. This is not the win that they're trying to go for, because they don't have the data to support it. Easily refutable, and it's been refutable for at least a decade now.
I mean, yeah, it's been refutable for a decade. And really quick, I know you all seen it in the background for those listening. Like, this is crazy. $3.1 trillion in illicit funds flowed through the global financial systems in 2023, says NASDAQ, and they do not mention Bitcoin, crypto, or stable coins. On CoinMarketCap, which we look at every day, the global market cap of all of cryptocurrency
2 million.
is 1.56 trillion. People, 1.56 trillion is the global market cap of the Bitcoin, crypto, all your favorite tokens, period. And they're saying there's 3.1 trillion. So literally double that plus another 100 million, or is that another 100 billion? Excuse me, that's double that plus another billion or something, right?
Yeah.
Because it's billions to make trillions. I'm so tripping. So people, you're literally talking about double the amount plus another billion at least on the end of it. That is how much illicit. That's the illicit transactions, people. The amount of illicit transactions going through the global fiat marketplace is larger than the entire crypto market. Yet they want you to believe, and they keep trying to write legislation which uses taxpayer money to even go through the channels of the legislation, like, which to me is waste, fraud, and abuse, which brings me back to treason. They all should be charged with. But they are literally trying to argue and create legislation to say Bitcoin, you need protections. Crypto, you need protections. It's being used for illicit. It's being used for Hamas. And it's like, the illicit funds in 1 year is bigger than the market cap of the biggest, most burgeoning technology and investment of the last 100 years. You're doing more illicit transactions than that entire market cap since it's an invention of the last 14 or 15 years now, almost 15, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're doing this, like that's crazy. Like that's madness when you say it out loud. Yeah, these are the same people saying, well, Bitcoin and crypto, you got to be careful. So I think that was really interesting.
Oh yeah.
X adds community note to Senator Warren's claims on dodging sanctions with crypto. Fiat is the preferred currency for financial crimes, said a community note, providing context to Elizabeth Warren's January 21st tweet on crypto and sanctions. So again, literally a day or two before this came out, Elizabeth Warren and the gang were still trying to sanction and do everything else with crypto. And it took some people to remind her and to show her that report that what the fuck are you talking about? Waste, fraud, and abuse, people. Any last thoughts on this? I'm not even gonna go too much in detail. I mean, it's clear as day what's going on here.
Hey man, it's the same old, same old. I'm not a huge fan of community notes because they get it wrong sometimes, and sometimes they, kind of are different with different accounts. However, this was easy to prove. Fiat is preferred currency for financial crimes. We have all the data, we have all the articles, we have everything that points towards that. But again, she's working for somebody.
She's clearly working for somebody, especially 2 days before this NASDAQ come out.
Yeah, like it's pretty obvious that she has some bankers behind her. I'm pretty sure if we look up her donation list, we can find a trail of money. She's a talking puppet. Politicians are puppets who speak based on what their backers tell them to say. So they have to go out and look stupid sometimes. And right now they're basically putting her through a humiliation ritual. It looks like, yeah, go out there and keep talking about crypto, keep talking about how bad it is, while we approve an ETF, while we allow Bitcoin buying at an all-time high. Like that, it's just at this point she's just working for whoever is the enemy of Bitcoin, and it's hilarious to see because she's going to drown out like everybody else. We've seen it a million times.
I mean, I can't. Waste, fraud, and abuse. Like she's literally. It's time for crypto to follow the same anti-money laundering rules as everyone else. The ones that do not work, according to this $3.1 trillion, and this is research from a private company. This is even research from the government. The government will research it. Fuck around. It's going to be like 5 trillion overnight. So she wants to create bills that allow for the same type of money laundering that's going on. And she still claims that rogue nations. There's so many rogue nations, she can't even list them. That's how many there are. She doesn't want to say them by name. She's going to say rogue nations. Let me guess, the people we already don't like, that we don't need much of. Like, this is the shit where it's like you already don't like the person, and all you gotta do is go up to somebody and be like, "Hey, man, he been looking at you funny." Like the person who don't like it ain't gonna common sense look at me. He said something. No, I didn't hear that. I didn't see that. He hasn't. That's not gonna fact. I already don't like him. I don't need nothing extra. Like. Did you just cough without covering your mouth? Like, it's nothing extra you need.
Get him out of here.
That to me, right? This is the same thing to me. Jake says, people are crazy. The Bitcoin ETF is the best in history. More people have access than ever to Bitcoin. Happening coming up. This dip is normal. Jake, I can't tell if you're serious or not anymore. I have to disagree with this one. No. Okay, so I get what you're attempting to say, but what I think you're saying is wrong. More people, because of the ETF, do not have access than ever to Bitcoin. Like this is hell no, Jake. I got to push hard back on this one. Listen, having access to Bitcoin is exactly what it sounds like. Having access to Bitcoin, not to an ETF. Because again, if you're and again, I can see it happening where people are not accepting Bitcoin. They're going off of cash equivalents or CBDCs or whatever. But for the person who wants Bitcoin back, I need to buy X, Y, and Z. Cool. That would be however many Satoshis. All right. I got the Satoshi ETFs. No, I said I want the Satoshis back. I don't want the ETFs back. So that's where I'm disagreeing with you at. No, that's like you saying, somebody owes you $10,000, but instead of giving you $10,000, they give you like an infamous painting. They're like, bro, this is worth way more than $10K. Like, it's like Lord of War. My man went to go sell him some guns. He gave him some cocaine. He was like, oh, I don't deal drugs. I just want the money. He was like, hey, man, the coke, it's been slow right now. We ain't got money. The price of this coke on the market is high. Take it and get your money back how you get it. This is the game you in. Like, no, I want the money for the gun. So this is the same thing. It's like, no, I am not going to say just because there's a Bitcoin ETF, people now have access more than ever to Bitcoin. They do not. They have access to an ETF. That is not Bitcoin. And once again, I don't know why we're leaning into this, relying on these private wealth firms to say, hey, we're going to do the right thing. For every one ETF that has Bitcoin on it, we're going to buy one Bitcoin. I don't think that it doesn't make sense for that to happen. There's literally no laws and regulations force them to do that. And they will make way more money by not doing it. So I just don't see it happening where they're going to say we're going to 1-to-1 this thing.
Yeah.
But no, I got to push back on that. The dip might be normal, though. I give you that one. Go ahead.
Yeah, but I mean, we also have to think about human psychology as well when we talk about this, because honestly, most people don't care about having their own keys. They don't care about owning Bitcoin, the asset. They just want to say they have Bitcoin and then be able to cash out at a certain point. If your goal is to cash out, then yes, the ETF is great for you. I would say maybe out of the entire Bitcoin industry that's coming, maybe 20% want to hold their own keys. That's just the reality of what it is. Other old boomers and long-term investors.
Okay, real quick. You said more money, not people. My fault. Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just looking at from a human psychology standpoint. The ETF is needed because people want it. That's what a free market is. Some people actually want somebody else to hold their keys or to take care of their Bitcoin for them for an extended period of time. It just is what it is. That industry was always going to come at some point. But overall, most people don't want to hold their keys. Most people are not doing private custody.
That's true.
And if you need an example, technically, if me and you wanted to get on the internet and we wanted to do a live show, we could do it without YouTube. We could do it without Restream. We could set up our own server. We could set up our own internet, privately or whatnot. But all the steps.
With these view numbers, we might as well. Yeah. Shit, y'all gonna be here saying a couple hundred people now.
Yeah, but all the steps it would take to do that, because most of the internet is technically on the dark web. Like most of what you see is not even, the Googles.
It's not the searchable content.
It's not the searchable content. So technically, if we talk about Bitcoin long term, most people are going to go with the ETF. They're going to say, I want somebody else to do my keys. Shout out to Hotep Jesus. If you know him, he actually said this at the Bitcoin conference and people were mad. And I was laughing because I was like, I'm sorry I made y'all mad, but that's reality. If you ever been out amongst humans, most people don't even have the mental capacity to sit down, do something that takes 10 to 15 steps just to save money that they don't believe in anyway. You know what I mean? Like they're not big, maxi, laser-eyed Bitcoiners. So they want to do what's easiest for them. And if they're planning on cashing it out anyway, then that seems the easiest. So I get that there. But at the same time, we all know a lot of these people about to get burned. They're about to do fractional reserve Bitcoin. They're going to be giving out paper Bitcoin. You're not actually going to own it. They're going to put
10
limits
more
years.
on 10 more years.
Less than that. I give it 2.
Yeah.
They're going to put limits on how much you can withdraw. They're going to tell you the exchange is down. Coinbase has been doing it for years now. So it's just, it is what it is. Whatever, lawyer mumbo jumbo they want to throw in there, whatever regulation bullshit they want to put in there is fine. They can always change it because they are the regulators. They pay the regulators.
The simplest thing is put like this, people. There's no way in hell established professionals that are BlackRock, Fidelity, whatever, those C-suite folks, as well as just regular people who've been there for a while, established professionals, whatever. There's no way they're betting the house, right? They're betting the house by doing something that is 180 from traditional finance, which a lot of people might not like. There's no way they're going to go against the SEC and different federal agencies poking the bear. So you're not going to bet the house and poke the bear and take all these risks to not make profit and make money. You better fucking believe there's a big win in it for them at the end of this tunnel, no matter how it plays out. When I mean no matter how it plays out, whether the retail and the other institutions and funds, whether they win or not, or whether they profit or not, doesn't matter. BlackRock, Fidelity, those people, they're going to make their money, whether you make yours or not, under them. So, yeah, I do believe whether it's 2 years, 10 years, whatever, the day will come. We keep seeing it. It literally keeps happening. We're allowed to happen again. 2008 housing crisis. Yeah, A plus, A. Actually, these are all D's, blah, blah. People can't pay their loans. Crisis. Oh, well, the bank stayed, didn't they? Got them government bailouts. We ain't going nowhere. Same thing. Something's going to happen in the Bitcoin and crypto market. Honestly, the happening could be the event, and you could be right on 2 years. Tinfoil toboggan. We get the happening. Price shoots up and goes crazy. I am still predicting an $80,000 down candle one day where I can actually see us just dipping 80K one day and scaring the shit out of people. That may be the actual day that these companies and everything, like, well, so what happened to the market? Party's over, but hey, it was been fun, folks. We told you what could happen. Like, and they just be like, we're done. We're done with this whole ETF thing. We're done with the Bitcoin thing. We're just going to keep the funds. You can sue us, bring us in court. 10, 15 years later, we'll pay 30,000 of you at most, a few $100. Really quick though, I do want to correct. Jake says he meant more money for access to Bitcoin, not people. All right. Everybody in the comments like Jake going crazy. Jake not going crazy, people. Jake is cool. He meant to say more is more money that has more capital, basically more capital access to Bitcoin. I do agree with that, and I'm with you on that. All right. So when you say like that, that makes sense. So I'm with you on that. Fun fact, when TGOC first video was uploaded on YouTube, Bitcoin price is around 2,500. Guys, thank you for doing what you do. I wish I knew back then. Crazy, man. When it's funny enough, when we first started together, though, the price was at like $315. I think my first Bitcoin I bought was like $316. Yeah. So I wish I knew back then too. All right. Really quick, we won't go too deep in this, but I did see this. Jake was also saying GBTC, which I saw them today as well. We didn't pick this article up, but I did notice this. Sued the SEC to create an ETF so they can lose the ETF race. No likely GBTC sell-off is suspicious. They didn't win to lose. He's talking about what are your thoughts on that? I've been tracking this a little bit as well. There's been a big grayscale Bitcoin sell-off. Yes, and he's right. Why would they sue him for the ETF? I don't know. Just off the top of my head, I would say when they initially sued them for the ETF, they didn't see the competitors. They thought we're first in the door, we're one of the first few people. We're suing them first. We're going after them first. We should get it first. You got to remember, it doesn't matter if it was a 1 month head start, 3 week head start, or 3 month head start. Having that head start, especially for a Bitcoin ETF, would have been huge for any one of these companies, which is why I said it was corruption to even release them all at the same time. So my only thought is that they actually sued them without thinking about competitors, thinking they would be first. It didn't work out. And now that people are seeing the market for what it is, like, BlackRock's probably going to win this out. They're selling out of their GBTC to go over to BlackRock and Fidelity. That's my quick on the moment thoughts of it. What's yours?
Well, FTX actually sold about 1 billion of Grayscale's Bitcoin ETF so that they can the selling pressure was basically coming from them being able to pay off their bankruptcy estate liquidated holdings.
So that is right. Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Now that we've gotten through that, because that was the big initial thing, it will be interesting. It will be interesting to see exactly what happens because they still have the 1.5% rate for for their service, and other people's rates is like 0.2%, 0.6%. Like, why would it be so much higher? I think they're doing that just to collect these fees on this initial money that's going out, but they'll either lower it later or they'll do exactly what we said. Wolf of Wall Street, introduce the blue chips at first, and then once you got people in, hey, dump them dog shit. Just start Solana ETF, Dogecoin, Avalanche ETF. Just start throwing it to your customers, and then lower the rates that way, and they'll keep making money. So if you're interested in why these out, FTX is still paying off some bankruptcy stuff in that regard.
All right. Let's see. Last couple of quick stories. Nexo seeks $3 billion in damages from Bulgaria over dropped investigation. That is what I'm talking about, Nexo. Something we should have saw here in the United States as well. We kept saying it when the SEC went after XRP. Like them going after them was a win. They didn't need to actually win. They just needed to slow them down so they can come up with their Fed now program and things like that. That was happening all across the world, essentially. Different countries were going after crypto companies who really didn't do anything wrong, but they were competition. And these countries were like, hey, the best thing we can do is try to sue them. We can go after them, try to stop them, say they're for criminals. People will stop using them, drive the market share down, drive the volume down. We come up with something better. And then we release them from the hold. Nexo said, yeah, but we ain't going for that. Nexo alleges the company suffered reputational damage while its shareholders lost significant value due to the abandoned criminal investigation. That is how they do it. Listen, XRP should literally, like this, I should have saw this the next day. XRP seeks $3 billion in damages from the SEC over failed investigation. I want to say dropped over failed investigation. You can't just do that, man. Like, and that is a tool of the government to say, hey, they criminals, they bad. Investigate, drop the price, drop the share, and they be like, no, we just messing with y'all. Like, come on, man.
We just do that.
You know what I'm saying? Cryptocurrency lending platform Nexo. And to be fair, we called out Nexo a long time ago, so we knew they have issues, but still, this like to man make those issues is messed up, especially coming from a government point of view. It'd be different if it was like from Celsius, somebody else who was like a competitor, but damn, the government too. Nexo is looking to claim $3 billion in damages from the Bulgarian government following failed criminal investigations. Nexo outlined the details of his $3 billion arbitration claim against the Republic of Bulgaria in direct correspondence with Cointelegraph on January 24th. It has submitted a claim through the World Bank's International Center for Settlement of Investment Disputes, WOW, which is based in Washington, D.C. in the United States. I can tell you right now, at the top of my head, an issue with a private company that's not American in Bulgaria with a settlement thing based out of D.C. Like, all right, unless you're paying the ICSID, unless they're going to get a strong cut of this, which I highly doubt they would, this isn't going anywhere. Bulgaria, from what I hear, is already like, when it comes to being on the up and up. And Nexo, you guys were already as far as being on the up and up as well with some of the lending practices you had. Don't tell me you didn't commingle any funds. Like, come on, knock it off. So with things like that being said, I don't see this, like, again, unless DC sees a line in to get a lot of money, and it helps on the geopolitical level as far as what's going on with the EU and Russia and that type of stuff. Bulgaria is in that area. Unless we see a clear path to victory and a quick win there, I don't see Washington, D.C. giving them any help with Bulgaria in this issue here. Yeah, I don't know. What are your thoughts on this?
Hey man, they pulled the old you're in trouble, but not really. So we just gonna tank the price of your project. But yeah, I mean, prosecutors, they initially alleged that Nexo executives participated in an organized criminal group from 2018 to 2023.
Damn, wait a minute. That's messed up. That's nasty work.
So y'all was out here. So y'all was out here like YSL. Wiping your nose, slime, slack.
That's nasty work. That's nasty work. You gonna call somebody? You gonna call a business, a real professional business, or organized criminal group just because they doing banking different?
Oh man, that's hilarious.
That's messed up.
And then that's the thing is, then they found that there was nothing criminal that was happening. That's what's crazy about it, is that if they were actually running some sort of organized criminal group, you would have found something. Y'all didn't find anything in their offices. Y'all didn't find a little bag of weed. Y'all didn't find. That's
what I'm saying. All they gotta do is show some co-mingling.
Yeah, I mean, y'all didn't find a little spoon in the bathroom. Y'all didn't find.
Too funny, bro.
They weren't eating illicit lunches. Nothing. Y'all didn't find anything. So this was obviously a hit piece to try and get them out. Which again, Nexo is sort of similar to BlockFi, similar to Salt lending. Anybody that was doing lending, they got them out the paint faster than anybody. Right. Because the thing about lending is that usury, as far as basically what lending is, usury, that's for the government. That's for the banks to do, because that is for them to basically keep their money in a system where they are honestly loaned to. They don't have any money. But if you get a loan on the balance sheet, if you owe $1 million, we're worth $1 million. So we need you to take out a loan with us. You can't be having you getting loans based off your crypto assets and getting cash and being able to operate outside of our system. That's what they really are scared of in this market. Because just a simple crypto project that's just whatever, we got some utility, we're on the exchange, we can make a little bit of money. They don't really care about that. They do care, however, is the fact that you can take your money, put it in this crypto as a lending program, and then get cash for it, and then get your crypto back after you pay back the money. You never have to use a bank again. That is what they're really scared of. And that's what I think they were targeting Nexo and BlockFi and all of them so hard. Not only because they may have been doing some nefarious things on the back end, that's fine, but I would rather find that out a fair way, not this way. Like, don't do it this. Don't take the bitch route. Don't be like, oh well, we're gonna fake investigate you, crash the price, nobody's ever gonna use it, and then all right, well, you're free to go. Like, god damn, like, well, we don't have any business to attain to now at this point. So I hate that they did it that way. Right. Yeah, like, go ahead, you're free now. It's cool. I mean, it's like coming in and busting up your shop and then be like, okay, well, we didn't find anything. You free to run your business today. It's like, damn, nigga, all my inventory is on the floor. You done knocked out the windows. Ain't nobody coming in here today. Like, what are we doing here? And it's like, oh, sorry, wrong spot. I'm sorry.
Wrong store. My bad.
Wrong store. My bad.
I mean, you encapsulated it all, and you can read more about this story, folks. But it's basically just Nexo going back and forth. Hey, we were going to sell our company. We're going to do a IPO. We're going to do this, that, and the other. You guys stopped it from happening. You stopped volume from coming in. This isn't fair. We want our money. I'm in agreement with all that. And again, kind of like you said, like, they didn't find anything that was wrong that was done. I would like to see what happens with this. Don't think they're going to get their money back. But if so, it'll be real good to see. Shout out to Antonio. Saw Antonio in the chat as well. Shout out to Antonio. Dang, that's messed up, man. This is that's what I was thinking. I was trying to drag it out because I was like, I knew I was going to reply to something you said, but I was reading comments. So you had just mentioned also as far as how the United States, and it's slipping again. I hate when that happens. I'll come back to it in a second. You were mentioning what the how they break something. You said they break it. I don't know.
Break the windows, mess up all the inventory, throw everything on the floor, and then say, all right, well, you can
I'm multitasking.
That's all good. But yeah, that's the U.S. banking system for you. We all grown here, people. Just realize, hey, you all indentured servitude slaves. It's all good.
Indentured, there you go. Because you were talking about how they don't want you to take out your own loan. There it is. That's what it was. My whole point of that is like what I've been saying in the past. The U.S. is some real gangsters. We know how to do some nation building. People's books on this that they burned before. They don't want, as I said, a bunch of rich individuals to start being like, why don't we just do our own police force then? And just stop paying them. This is the crazy thing when people be like, well, don't call the police then. I don't, bitch. Never have. Never want to. And I'm not saying that to be like on no like mean or tough or like negative stuff. It's just like, for what? What I'm gonna do? Like, same. Like, all right, listen.
Where my gun at? Hold up.
Hey, listen. hey, I would say this: if I can have all my tax money back, I want to do police and fire the same way some people can do or used to be able to do medical. Like, just let me walk in with no insurance. You tell me how much shit costs. I'm gonna run it. All right. Yeah. I want my tax money back from police and medical and firing people and all that other stuff. And when they call, if I got to call people, then charge me a premium. All right. Be like, all right, well, since you don't pay taxes, you call the police, that's be $5,000. You call a fireman today, that'd be $8,000. Cool. That would be A-okay with me.
But I don't need y'all niggas.
Exactly. And I say that to say that's where kind of what you were saying about how they don't want you taking out like a Bitcoin loan, but you can take out a loan from them because technically you're not a millionaire because you owe them. Whereas if you do it on your own, you are a millionaire for real. So to me, this is that same principle where it's like, we cannot allow for humans to start their own nation building within our nation. And one of the ways they can do that without interference and without being violent and protesting and all the other stuff is by using Bitcoin. So instead of allowing you to use Bitcoin, because that would be a silent protest, we're essentially trying to ban every avenue to it and toward it. Because like I said, the last thing the United States and other governments want is for 10 to 15,000, 20,000 citizens to say, let's just stop paying. And again, nothing will be wrong with it, but that is like, this will be the hypocrisy of the United States. I hope this happens just so we see the hypocrisy. If 15 to 20,000 people were to stop paying taxes, let's say, I don't know, whatever city or town, because 20,000 people would be a small town. A small town says we don't need government help. We don't need federal government help. We don't want federal. We know you guys are going to be pissed. You're going to stop the funding. Cool. We're not paying taxes to the federal government. We're not even really doing it to the state government. We'll do it to the local municipalities. We'll do local things, blah, blah, blah. Watch how fast Russia and Ukraine happens in the United States. Watch how fast the United States be like, oh, fuck no. We need to go into that town and make sure they understand they're going to be paying taxes. It will be Russia and Ukraine here overnight. And I can't wait to see how many people are going to have the little flags and how many people are going to support the townspeople. They haven't done nothing wrong. It's just a bunch of farmers. They realize they never call the fire department. They never call the police. They live out in the middle of nowhere and they can do it themselves.
Those people already doing it. Some of the more libertarian people that I follow, they out in Idaho, North Dakota, they out in Missouri. They already doing this.
Man,
they basically, I mean, it's just without the taxes aspect of it. They just basically rely on each other. And I mean, it's people already doing that. The problem is you can't have big numbers.
Russia and Ukraine.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's not big numbers. Like somebody just put it in. I was just about to say the Amish been doing it for 1,000 years. The Amish been chilling. And they've literally showed you the way. Amish, if you don't know anything about the Amish, look at the Amish, how they
said don't use them cars. Amish said don't use their cars or their cell phones.
Don't use their cell phones, their cars, don't use their technology.
You get a horse and live well, okay?
Hey, even though they be pissing people off riding horses down the street.
Man, I didn't see them. So actually driving from North Carolina to Detroit, you had to go through some parts of Ohio and Michigan, and I think they might be some in Virginia too. I know Ohio and Michigan too, but you always get behind them on this one road or whatever. It's funny as I don't know what, because it's just like, you mother. Yeah. But those who know, Amish still use horse and carriage. Literally, people, if you don't know the difference, thank you for that shout out. So yeah, my own thing is I think Russia and Ukraine will happen here in a moment. We get a football stadium full of people to say, we appreciate everything the federal government has been doing. We're still part of the United States. We just want to go our separate direction. Hey, Team 9 Logic. I can't let Zay finish his sentences. He be saying some of the stuff I want to say. All right, I be trying to get him.
We have the blueprint. It's just people don't want to follow it because it's hard work. And somebody said that they be poor. They're really poor in Missouri. This is one thing I always talk about when people talk about wealth and poor or whatnot. If you make $100,000 a year, but you got $100,000 in bills, you're worth $0. However, if you're worth $20,000 at the end of the year and you grow your own food and you are self-sustainable and you don't need anybody else, you're actually richer than these people that call themselves rich. I know plenty of people that have money, but they're in debt. And most of it is, investments. It's not hard liquid capital, which could fail at any point. So the idea of poor and rich, when you start getting into farming, which I've started, you start really realizing it's like, the definition of rich and poor definitely has to change. Because I know, like, some of these farmers I've been meeting in the Farmers Association, they've been living off their land for 60 years. That's rich. I don't care what nobody says. And they might not have 6 figures to their name or never made 6 figures in their life. But if you can eat, they got their own water system, they got their own animals, they get government subsidies, and they have a house that they built from scratch that they don't have to pay any bills on. Nigga, they rich. You are not. If you're a millionaire and you paying $10,000 a month for a condo and you paying tax, property tax, inheritance tax, excise tax, blah 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 tax, and all this other shit, and you don't really have any community around you, and you got to go to the store to get all your food and all of that, you can't really call yourself rich per se, based off natural law. Now, American law you can, but hey, man, it is what it is. It's all about perception.
I always say, man, like, outside of San Francisco, LA, and New York, I'm rich, bro. Like, it's crazy. I'm not rich here though. It's insane. It pisses me off. Like you said, you make so much, but it's like the overhead is insane. Like, the overhead is insane.
But you gotta remember too, some of these people in LA, that's the first time in my life I met people that had jobs like, oh yeah, so what do you do for a living? Oh, my dad, he draws the red lines on straws. He'd be like,
right, really?
Maybe what?
But he a billionaire off it.
Yeah, but you're a billionaire. He'd be like, maybe you heard of me. We draw the red lines on the straws. He'd be like, what the fuck?
I met the 1-800. I met the 1-800 guy. I told you.
I met a dude who his family owns a color. They own a color. Every time this color is used in advertisement or used in fabrics, they get paid off of it. It was some reddish color that they family owns. I'm like, how do you own a color? Like, that's the type of stuff you meet people you meet in LA. You can't be regular. You got to do some wild shit out in LA.
That is funny. All right, last but not least, today was our short show. It looks like, Zay, I got to work on this, man. I got to work on this. Canada's use of law freezing protesters' crypto donations was unconstitutional. A judge has ruled. Thank you for ruling that. Hand clap, I guess. But I mean, I think we all knew exactly. We all already knew it was unconstitutional. And now my big question is, now that you've said it out loud, what do we do about it? I'm assuming nothing's going to happen, but federal judge said there was no national emergency justifying the invocation, I might have said that wrong, of the emergency law, which gave the government the power to freeze assets. The Federal Court of Canada has ruled, if you remember, Canada trucking, COVID truckers said, we're not taking shots. It's fucking stupid. We on the truck by ourselves. They say everybody must have it, blah, blah, blah. They say, well, we're not going to do it, and we'll protest by not delivering y'all shit. They say, we'll cut off their funds and their money, basically. They say, we'll use crypto. They said, cut that off too. That's the shortest version I can give you. The Federal Court of Canada has ruled an emergency law that gave the Canadian government power to stop the flow of funds and crypto to protesting truckers was unreasonable and unconstitutional. And in January 23rd decision, Justice... All right, so I'm not going crazy. Hey, listen, I'm only doing it because I know y'all do it to me sometime. This is in a January 23 decision. Can I get the RD up there? All right, this is Cointelegraph. All right, Justice Richard Mosley concluded there was no national emergency justifying the invocation of the Emergencies Act, and the decision to do so was therefore unreasonable. Tar and fucking feather then. Why is this person still literally like the way it used to be, the good old days? Y'all want to talk about good old days making these countries great again? Well, when they were quote unquote great in the good old days is when a court decision like this was reached about your president or your leadership doing something unconstitutional, a court decision. They still waited for the courts. If you look back at some of those old photos, the tar and feathering was happening literally outside the courtroom of Capitol steps. They were waiting for the decision to be made. But literally today or yesterday, there should have been a mob outside of the president or prime minister Justin Trudeau's office being like, come and get this molasses and feather. It's coming in live and direct. In a February 22nd, in February 2022, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's government used the law for the first time to freeze funds, including cryptocurrencies, donated to truckers protesting COVID-19 restrictions. Because again, why would you want a shot when you're in a truck by yourself? But whatever, which the court found was unconstitutional. This was against, again, the Freedom Convoy, as they called it at the time. Government claimed the Invoking Emergencies Act was needed as the protests were an illegal occupation. Again, when your own government starts saying your own protest is an illegal occupation, tar and fucking feather. What is it going to take? I mean, I can't talk too much. We in America let them get away with madness, but I mean, I'm still eating, so whatever. But let me stop. Tar and feather. I ain't got nothing else to do. Got something to do today. Tar and feather. Okay, this is madness. But again, the big part about this story is that the judge has finally come back out yesterday and said this was unconstitutional. Only thing I'm waiting on and I want to see is what is going to happen with the Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's administration. Will they continue to go on forward as nothing happened? Will they face no trouble, no penalties, or will there be some pushback? I can't wait to see. What are your thoughts on the story?
Oh, yeah. So a couple thoughts here real quick. First thing, Canada freezing their protesters' crypto donations being unconstitutional. I think that's great that they're bringing that up. The problem is that why don't they think of this before it happens? You didn't think it was unconstitutional before you freeze the protesters' donations? Whatever. Also, Justin Trudeau, Fidel Castro is rolling in his grave right now. I can't believe he has such a bitch of a son running Canada right now. If I was Fidel Castro, I'd be mad as shit, man. I've been smoking cigars. I'd have survived 100 assassinations.
You just playing? Or what's
man, that's Fidel Castro's son. I don't care what they say. They try to say. They keep trying to say that it's your mom's was a hoe. She went to Cuba. She got smashed by Castro. Justin Trudeau came 9 months later. I do not care what they say. That's your son. I'll be rolling in the grave. I've been smoking cigars. I've been getting women my whole life. I've survived 100 assassination attempts. I'm probably the toughest dude in North and South America combined. And I had this bitch of a son. This is what happens when you have children and you're already rich. They grow up and they some little hoe ass.
He don't got a beard like Fidel. That's the problem. He need to grow his beard.
That's why he keep cutting it off. If he grow that beard, they're gonna really be like, okay, all right, nigga, you Castro's son. But yeah, Justin Trudeau, out of all of the prime ministers and presidents in the world, I would say his bitch levels are beyond what others are, because every time I see him, he looks like he's crying and he's trying to get some sympathy for the fact that he is the prime minister. Like, look, I have a hard job, I have to do stuff. Man, stop crying. But yeah, Justin Trudeau freezing these donations. I believe it was like 8 million they raised with Give Send Go, and they also use Tally Coin, which is another way for crypto donations. And this was in my opinion, this was a test. This is the second part of it. This was a test to see how would people react, even if it's a group of people you disagree with. That's the point of Bitcoin and crypto, is that it's for your enemies as well. It's for people you disagree with. It's for people with different ideologies. Just because you disagree with them doesn't mean they shouldn't have the freedom of movement of their money, which is what we're all looking for anyway. Because when it comes to you, when you have a movement, when you have something you believe in, and then you try to get donations, you can get demonized as well. So this was a test. I'm glad they're going through with this. And yeah, this is just the start of what I think most governments are going to try to do to keep people from funding themselves. Because now that crypto's around, now that you can get Bitcoin donations, you really can't stop anybody. All you can really do is sort of close off some of the PayPal, Zelle. You can close off some of the centralized ways. So I'm glad this is happening. Hopefully they figure this out and deem it unconstitutional, so it's an example for other countries.
Yeah, I want, like I said, I want to look for the follow-up to this article one day. Like you can't be like, yo, this administration did something unconstitutional, and it's like, all right, well, have a happy Tuesday, happy Wednesday, next day, and it's like, whoa, bro, you didn't violate people. Like it's madness when people in power violate people, and it's like, oh well. Like people literally imagine if tomorrow you wake up and there's a headline that says King did something unconstitutional to United States court judge. King did something unconstitutional to a police officer. King did something unconstitutional to a politician. Americans will be fucking eating me alive. Don't nothing I did in the past will matter. They be like, oh, he did something unconstitutional. It was against the Constitution. Like what? They did something unconstitutional to to a portion of the country who was protesting a medical shop for their own body and their children. People, wow. I need to
might be my
this.
choice.
Gotta be
Just
a
went right up.
Other than that, that's the show for this. That's the show for today. We actually try to go short for like 15 minutes. So you all, you get us talking crypto. We in it. Zay, you got any announcements?
No announcements from me. Jake Fever, you hilarious. Michael Irvin's son. If you haven't checked him out, check out his raps, and you will see exactly what is plaguing the black community. Even if you succeed, niggas still want to be thugs. Me and King went to college with a few dudes who was like this. Parents got a 5-bedroom house, full bath, living good. But somehow they son grew dreads, so all of a sudden now they're a thug at this point. It's the funniest
dope boy.
thing. Yeah, now you're a dope boy.
You go visit a mansion. You're like, whoa, bro, I thought you about out here slinging that work.
That's what I'm saying. You got a gated community. We gotta go. This man just sold an eighth to a couple of his white friends, and all of a sudden he's a dope boy out here in these streets. I've been in the streets like T.I. son. I went and stayed at my grandma's house in the hood. Like, shut up, y'all was a vacation, nigga. But yeah, shout out to y'all. Hey. Happy Wednesday, happy Hump Day. Yeah.
Hey, shout out to Michael Irvin too, because he is funny. Like he put his son on. He's like, I got my son. All right, I saw him. He did it on ESPN or whatever. I got my son. He's like trying to be like a rapper, a gangster rapper. But I said, I grew up like that, son. You ain't grow up like that. I did. So why you want to rap about it? Shout out to Michael Irvin.
You know how many parents are going through that right now? They come. That's why I said Justin Trudeau. You come up with a rich. You got rich parents. That's they problem. You got rich parents. You come up with these kids that they ain't got really nothing to fight for. They just making up shit.
The difference you're talking about. Yeah, I did see it. I'm surprised his name is the top of my head. You're talking about
Sean Strickland.
Yeah, Sean Strickland. Yeah, when Buddy asked him, hey, listen, when he asked him the question, hey, I'm not gonna do it because it don't got much to do with crypto. But when he went off on that reporter, I was almost crying, bro. Like. It's so much to unpack. But yes, other than that, people, smash that like and share. As always, we need that ongoing support. We will see you Friday with some more news. And other than that,